All right. Hi, this is Dr. Randall, and I wanted to give you a little bit of an overview of one of the ways you'll see proteins be regulated during the cell cycle. So, this overview will be covering something called ubiquitination. So, ubiquitin is a small protein that can be linked to other proteins via covalent bonds. So, UB is the abbreviation for ubiquitin, typically what I use in my drawings. And so you might have a protein in the cell cycle, let's say protein A. Protein A is active during most of the cell cycle, but in order to progress the cell cycle, you would need to remove protein A. So you might have a family of proteins called ubiquitin ligases that would add a ubiquitin molecule to protein A. And we would then say that protein A has become ubiquitinated. So it would then have the small ubiquitin protein linked to it. So when you get ubiquitinated as a protein, this sends you typically to a protein complex called the proteasome. So I'm going to draw that here and write it out here. Proteasome. Ooh, that's a little sketchy, but proteasome. So the proteasome is essentially like a wood chipper or a garbage disposal for proteins. So ubiquitination, this whole process, is typically used in the cell to help turn over proteins, meaning that when a protein is made, they all have shelf lives in terms of how long they can maintain their appropriate structure and function. So the ubiquitin machinery is always very active, tagging these proteins for degradation. So once you have a ubiquitin on you, it's kind of like having a garbage sticker. There are other proteins that will come and bring you to the proteasome. You'll get fed into the top here, and then essentially leave as a bunch of small protein bits that can then be reused. So in the case of the cell cycle, we might target proteins for ubiquitination and then degradation by the proteasome because we want to change their activity. So this could be some of the cyclins or other proteins. So upon ubiquitination, they get sent to the proteasome, they get degraded into little bits, and this can change obviously their activity and be yet another way to regulate proteins in cell signaling. So this has been your brief overview of ubiquitination. I know it's kind of a funny name, but it has a very kind of simple function. I hope this was helpful.